I visited Julian the other day at Belmarsh prison for the second time, Britain's Guantanamo. He spends 23 hours every day for 3.5 years in solitary confinement. This is an attempt not to break him, but to kill him. It's slow murder of a man who's not been convicted, has not been charged of anything except journalism. I find it astonishing that there were people on the left who turned against Julian, newspapers like Guardian, who played a role in his incarceration and vilification. Julian is holding on. Julian is not well. Julian's soul has been diminished by solitary. It feels, he told me, as if his personhood has been shrunk down to a tiny kernel. And his hope is that if our campaign for him to become free again succeeds, that he can grow his personality again from that kernel. This is our duty. If you care for your right to know what your governments do behind your back, in your name, all those crimes against humanity being perpetrated not only in battlefields and invasions of foreign lands, but also against our environment, the secret deals with fossil fuel companies, then you must support Julian Assange, because Julian Assange is dying for your right to know what your government is doing on your behalf behind your back.
So let me start by asking you a question. Have you ever thought about press freedom in the West? Have you ever thought about freedom of speech, freedom of expression in the West? Do you have the feeling that you are really free to express yourself in the way you want? And the reason I'm asking this question is not to be condescending or to be kind of like naive about things, but it's because whenever I saw a video or whenever I came across something, or maybe an article or a write-up that mentioned Julian Assange, many things just run into my head. And like I've always said, right, I am from Africa, and in Africa, certain things are restricted. Certain so-called freedoms are restricted. Maybe freedom of expression, or maybe freedom to protest, and so on and so forth. You know the story. Let's just say certain things are restricted. But in the West, we are made to believe that everyone is free and the people have the right to express themselves the way they want. They have freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom of association, and so on and so forth. Then the question now becomes, why is Julian Assange in prison? Why is he being incarcerated? And for how long do they plan to keep him there? I'm just asking. If there was truly something like, let's say, freedom of speech, and if there was truly something like human rights, will Julian Assange still be in prison? Like, what is his crime? What did he do? And why is his case not taken to court so that they can either sentence him or let him go? Why are they keeping him in this current situation? And why would he be kept in solitary confinement for the number of hours he's been kept there, according to this video? Is he that serious of a threat? Or are they just trying to protect his life? So these are all the questions that one should be asking themselves. For a society that proud itself of all these virtues that I just mentioned, let's say human right, should they be doing something like this? Doesn't this go against everything they stand for? Should people from this society that pride itself of so many things be accepting or just letting this fly by? Shouldn't there be many, many more protests on behalf of Julian Assange? I'm just asking the question. If the government had something serious against him, shouldn't they make us know by now? From what I read and from what I have seen on social media, they are trying to punish him for publishing classified information on WikiLeaks. That is his punishment. So they are not saying that what he published was fake news. They are not saying that what he published was deformative information. That's not what they are saying. But what they are saying is what he published, even though was the truth, he had no right to do that. And by so doing, they will make an example of him that no one, believe me, no one would ever dare to do such a thing. That it doesn't matter if what he did was morally correct or not. It doesn't matter if what he did was a right thing or not. It doesn't matter if what he did or if what he published was the truth or not. But as long as he crossed a line, there was no going back for him. And this is what happens when you have powerful people in the government who believe that they can just go out and destroy someone who did something that they think was against their own interests. It's funny. And if such a thing was happening in Africa, let's say in one of those authoritarian countries in Africa, one wouldn't be surprised, right? For example, if this was happening in my own country, I wouldn't be surprised because journalists get locked up more too often for little to nothing, right? So one won't be surprised. But for it to happen in a country that proud itself of many good things is so embarrassing and surprising, right? That a country like England will let this happen after they've told us about how they value people's right and freedom. So that's just my whole concern. That's my whole concern. But I can't help feeling sad for Julian Assange. And I can't help feeling sad for the way his life has turned out. I can't help feeling sad for what he is going through, just living in a limbo like he is never a great thing. It would have been much more better if they just sentenced him or let him go than just keep him there without any concrete plan on what to do with him or without him knowing what happened next to him. It's really sad. My thoughts and prayers are with him and his family. But you guys out there, when you see cases like this where people's freedom of speech is being taken away from them, when people's freedom of expression is being cajoled away from them, when people are subjected to certain things that make you wonder if there is really any such a thing as human right, what comes to your mind? Please let us know in the comment section below. Because like always, we love hearing what you have to say. Thanks for watching. And like always, see you in the next one.